Ignorance causes frustration and it causes stress. And if it grows, it does cause depression and it does cause a person to feel dead inside. Knowledge, you feel on top of everything. You feel in light. You feel like you're living. How many of us have felt so excited the minute we figured something out? It feels illuminating, does it not? The topic that I want to talk about, inshallah ta'ala, is a topic that I believe, inshallah ta'ala, will help encourage you all to pursue this path of seeking knowledge and learning. So I want to talk about the opposite of knowledge, which is ignorance. Because a lot of the times people, they hear the virtues of knowledge and how important it is to seek knowledge, but they don't get the opportunity to look at Al-Jahlu, ignorance, and how it is harmful. To know the evil sometimes is what allows you to stay away from the evil, to know it and to recognize it. So Al-Jahlu, ignorance. Al-Jahlu, if you look at ignorance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He speaks against it in the Quran. And He speaks against the people who are ignorant, subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the word Al-Jahlu, if you look at the Quran, it comes in two meanings. The word Al-Jahlu, it comes in the Quran in two meanings. The first meaning that it sometimes comes in the Quran is Diddul Ilmi. Diddul Ilmi means the opposite of knowledge. And sometimes it comes in the meaning of Ma huwa Diddul Hilmi, the opposite of forbearance. Yani being a person who's controlling his nafs, who doesn't act upon impulse. That's the Didd al-Hilm. Those two meanings, it's present in the Quran. Because when Allah said about the Ibadur Rahman, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا, Jahiluna here is those who are opposite to what? Al-Hilm, who don't control themselves properly. They act upon their impulses. They don't have good manners, good etiquettes. They don't control themselves. That's what it means in the Quran, in that verse. So don't act in a way where you act upon as-safah, wal-humq, dim-wittedness, foolish way. Don't do that. The increase of ignorance is a sign of the hour. When ignorance becomes a lot, knowledge reduces, people act upon their impulse, this is a sign that the hour is coming close. The Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned in the famous hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, Anas ibn Malik was talking to the tabi'in. He said, لَأُحَدِّثَنَّكُمْ, I will tell you guys, حَدِيثًا سَمِعْتُهُ مِنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. A hadith that I heard from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I want to share it with you guys. لَا أُحَدِّثُكُمْ بِهِ أَحَدٌ غَيْرِي. No one else can tell you this hadith except me. I mean, I was the only person who heard this from the Prophet. سَمِعْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَقُولُ. He said, I heard the Prophet say, alayhi salatu wasalam. He said this, إِنَّ مِنْ أَشْرَاطِ السَّاعَةِ, from the signs of the hour is أَن يُرْفَعَ الْعِلْمُ. أَن يُرْفَعَ الْعِلْمُ, knowledge is taken up. Now the scholars, they take that two meanings. The absence of actual knowledge, people not knowing, increases. And also the act of, if knowledge goes, what tends to happen? People start acting upon impulses. People start acting upon al-humq wa safah. It increases. وَيَكْثُرُ الْجَهْلُ, and ignorance becomes prevalent. Everywhere you go, you'll find people ignorant. وَيَكْثُرُ الزِّنَا, وَيَكْثُرَ الزِّنَا, and zina increases. The connection in all of this is when knowledge goes, ignorance comes and zina spreads. Scholars like Ibn Hajar and Al-Battal, Ibn Battal rahimahullah and others, they mention that and we're going to see it later, that ma'asi, sins increase because of the absence of knowledge. The absence of what? Knowledge. وَيَكْثُرَ شُرْبُ الْخَمْرِ, people start drinking alcohol, the consumption of alcohol becomes a lot. وَيَقِلَّ الرِّجَالُ, the men become very little in number. وَيَكْثُرَ النِّسَاءُ, and the women become a lot in number. حَتَّى يَكُونَ لِخَمْسِينَ امْرَأَةً, to the extent that there will be 50 women for a man. Okay? Bukhari, that hadith, when he brought it in his Sahih, he brought it under the chapter of Raf'ul Ilm, knowledge being taken, taken up. وَظُهُورُ الْجَهْلِ, and ignorance becoming apparent. Everyone starts seeing ignorance. And I'm sure we all see that today taking place. Also the Prophet ﷺ, he said in a hadith, إِنَّ بَيْنَ يَدَيِ السَّاعَةِ, before the hour there is going to be لَأَيَّامًا, and days. There are days coming before the hour. يَنْزِلُ فِيهَا الْجَهْلُ, ignorance will literally come down. وَيُرْفَعُ فِيهَا الْعِلْمُ, and knowledge will be taken up. A large number of scholars, they say that the knowledge being taken up, it basically means it's people. The people who possess the knowledge are going to go. Ahlul ilmi are going to go. So who's going to remain? There's going to remain the ignorant ones. They're going to stay, and when they stay, based on the hadith, إن الله لا يرفع العلم انتزاعا إن الله لا ينتزع العلم انتزاعا ينتزعه من صدور الرجال ولكن ينتزع العلم بقبض العلماء حتى إذا لم يبق عالما اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا فسئلوا فأفتوا بغير علم فضلوا وأضلوا. So the knowledgeable people, the people of understanding of the religion, who have comprehended the book of Allah and the Sunnah, they get taken. One scholar dies, and then another scholar dies, and then another alim dies, and then another alim dies. And guess what? What remains is the ignorant ones. When the ignorant one remains, he's not shy to say, he doesn't have the audacity or he doesn't have the honesty to say, I don't know. He won't say that. He'll answer every question, he will take on every topic, he will discuss all Islamic knowledge and everything. And so he misguides himself first, then he misguides the people. ولذلك الإمام الشاطبي رحمه الله in his Kitab al-I'tisam, he added it to the reasons that cause disunity when the ignorant ones talk. When the ignorant ones talk and they come out and they say things, الإمام الشاطبي أسباب الفرقة والاختلاف, the thing that he added in there is أن يتكلم الرويبضة. الرويبضة is الذي يتكلم في أمر العامة. He talks about safety and security and big issues, that if these issues were brought to Abu Bakr and Umar, they would have called the people of Badr. What do you guys think? What do you say? How should we go about this issue? Abu Bakr and Umar would have done that. These people, no. They'll answer all those issues. So when knowledge is taken up, ignorance comes, and when ignorant comes, zina. Because the ignorant one's going to say, there is a difference of opinion. If you want to have a boyfriend and a girlfriend, he will allow these things to come. Alcohol, well, is different from the type of alcohol that the Prophet was talking about. These are new alcohol. They are made in labs. They're not made from the grapes, or they're not made from the dates that the Prophet knew, or hakada. Does that make sense? He'll find a loophole for the people. And fatawa, verdicts which are ghareeb, ajeeb, fascinating, shocking, will be heard. Look what the Prophet then said, وَيَكْثُرُ فِيهَا الْحَرْجُ, and harj will increase. The Sahabas, they asked the Prophet, what does the word al-harju means? He said, al-qatlul qatl. People will be killed. All of this, again, if you look at it, it goes back to the absence of knowledge and the presence of what? Ignorant ones. What does ignorant do to the people? So write this down, inshallah ta'ala. Inshallah, benefit from these points. Number one, what ignorant does is, it's a sabab لإعراض المعرضين عن دعوة الأنبياء والمرسلين. The prophets and the messengers that were sent, al-i'rad, to turn away from what? Ignorance is the reason why people actually turn away from the message of the messengers. They turn away from the prophets and the messengers because of ignorance. Remember, if you don't know the value of something, you don't really know what it means, how can you take it? How are you going to accept it? Look what Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He said when He was talking about Nabiullah Nuh. Nuh said to his people, وَيَا قَوْمِ, my people, لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ أَجْرًا, I'm not going to ask you reward. In this verse he says, لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ مَالًا, I'm not going to ask you for money. Don't give me money for what I'm doing. On top of that, look what he said, وَمَا أَنَا بِطَارِدِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, and I'm also not going to expel those who are around me. Because remember, those who were around Nuh alayhi salam were of different classes. Generally, the lower class are the ones who embrace the prophets and the messengers first. So the upper class always tend to say, get rid of these lower class so that we can sit with you. We're not going to sit with you while the lower class is with you. Get rid of them then we can talk to you. Nabi Nuh said to them, وَمَا أَنَا بِطَارِدِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. I am not one to push away, get rid of these people who believe in Allah. Look what he then said, وَلَكِنِّي أَرَاكُمْ قَوْمًا تَجْهَلُونَ. But what I see you guys, for saying this statement, for acting in this way, I see you guys as to be what? وَلَكِنِّي أَرَاكُمْ قَوْمًا تَجْهَلُونَ. You are ignorant. That statement is a statement of ignorance. Look what this did to them. This trait of being from those who are ignorant stopped them from taking the da'wah of Nabi Nuh. The second thing that ignorance does, brothers, is Al-Jahlu sababun liwuqu'i fi shirki. Shirk occurs because of ignorance. It does. Al-Jahlu, Jahl is what? Sababun lilwuqu'i fi shirki. For one to fall into shirk, the cause for it is Al-Jahlu. Nabiyullah Musa alayhi salam talking to Banu Israel, his people. When Allah saved Nabiullah Musa from Fir'aun, and they won, and they just went through the ocean, and they made it, and Fir'aun and everyone who was with him had died in there. So what did they do? They walked with Nabiullah Musa and they said to Musa, they said, Ya Musa ja'al lana ilahan kama lahum aliha. Those people over there, the way that they have an idol that they worship, do the same thing for us and make us an idol. Nabiullah Musa responded to them. He didn't choose any other way to describe them. He described them by saying to them, قَالَ إِنَّكُمْ قَوْمٌ تَجْهَلُونَ. You are a people who possess excessive ignorance. What did you just see right now? You saw a miracle right in front of your eyes. The water was split open. You got saved. Fir'aun got destroyed and his entire army. You made it out safe and sound. Rather than glorify and venerate the Lord who did this for you and worship Him alone, what have you done? You are asking to go back to worshipping other than Allah. So Nabi Musa, there was nothing else that he described them as except by saying, قَالَ إِنَّكُمْ قَوْمٌ تَجْهَلُونَ. You are a people who are what? Ignorant. So what is it that threw them into the worshipping? Is because of this trait that Nabi Musa mentioned about them, ignorance. Number 3, and I mentioned this before, ignorance, my brothers, is سبب للوقوع في المحرمات وفعل المنكرات. Many people, the reason why they do sins and the reason why they do munkar is because of jahl, ignorance. Nabi Lut, when he spoke to his people, وَلُوطًا إِذْ قَالَ لِقَوْمِهِ, when Lut said to his people, أَتَأْتُونَ الْفَاحِشَةَ, are you going to come with this practice, homosexuality? Are you going to fulfill your desires with the same gender? Then he said to them, بَلْ أَنْتُمْ قَوْمٌ تَجْهَلُونَ. Rather you are a people who are ignorant. Al-Jahlu. He described them, Jahl, ignorance. So this practice is occurring from them due to what? Due to what? Al-Jahlu, Nabillahi Lut, that's what he's saying. Also, the fourth thing that it does is Al-Jahlu, ignorance, which is number 1. It prevents a person. يَحْجُبُ الْإِنسَانَ عَنِ الْوُصُولِ الْحَقِّ. It prevents the person from reaching the truth. If you have jahl, it prevents you from reaching what is right, what is true, what is correct. Allah Ta'ala, He tells us here in the Quran, I'm talking about the fourth thing that ignorance does to the person, which is to prevent them from reaching the truth, right? Allah says subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Ahqaf, the people of Ad, they said to the Prophet, they said to him, قَالُوا أَجِئْتَنَا, have you come to us? قَالُوا أَجِئْتَنَا لِتَأْفِكَنَا عَنْ آلِهَتِنَا. Have you come to remove us from the idols that we are worshipping? We have gods already. We're worshipping our God. We're submitting to our gods. We do what our gods want from us. Have you now come to get us not to worship our gods anymore? And are you trying to whisper to us to leave it? That's what they said. فَأْتِنَا بِمَا تَعِدُنَا إِن كُنْتَ مِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ. They said, look, stop wasting our time. Bring us the punishment that you say that you have. Why are you holding it back for? You're saying to us that if we don't follow you, that you're going to bring us a punishment. Guess what? فَأْتِنَا بِمَا تَعِدُنَا إِن كُنْتَ مِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ. Bring us what you're warning us of. The threat that you're saying is going to come our way, bring it to us. إِن كُنْتَ مِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ, if you're from those who are truthful. I see you as a people who possess no knowledge and you are acting upon impulse. Who asks for punishment? But you do if you don't know what that punishment can do to you, sah? And what the effect that it can have on you, you would ask for it. You say, let the punishment come. Let it punish me. And that's exactly the hal of all of the disbelievers. At every point or one stage, they would ask the Prophet, bring us the punishment that you promise us. Why would they say all of that? It's because of ignorance. Number 5, what does ignorance do? Al-Jahlu. Yu'mi, it blinds a person ar-ru'yatil haqqi, to even see the truth. Not just to reach it, but to even see it. The person does not even have the ability to see the truth for what it is. وَيُصِمْ, and it makes a person deaf, and سَمَاعِهِ, from hearing the truth. You become deaf. And the person becomes like a cattle. If you go to a cow and you give instructions to a cow, he'll just look at you and it doesn't mean anything to him. So these verses, they are showing that the person who is ignorant is blind. The blindness here is the heart. إنها لا تعمى الأبصار ولكن تعمى القلوب التي في الصدور. It's not the eyes, it's the heart. That's why the dua a believer needs to make and should make is Allahumma arina al-haqqa haqqan warzuqna ittiba'ah wa arina al-batila batilan warzuqna ijtinabah. Oh Allah, show us the truth as it is, and show us and allow us to follow it, and show us the falsehood as it is, and give us the strength and the power to stay away from it. The 6th thing that ignorance does is al-jahlu mawtun, is death. Wa dhulmah, and it's darkness. The people who have ignorance, they're dead. They're dead walking people. And they're in darkness. And knowledge is the opposite. Al-ilmu, knowledge is what? Hayatun wa nur. It's life and it's also light. وَلِذَلِكَ, knowledge removes depression. Yes. One of the causes of depression and anxiety is the absence of knowing things. How does it feel when you have to do something, but you don't know how it's going to be done? It confuses you and it stresses you out. True or false? And the minute you find out, you feel at ease when you figure out how to do it. Sah? Ignorance causes frustration and it causes stress. And if it grows and it grows and it grows, it does cause depression, anxieties, and it does cause a person to feel dead inside. Number 7, al-jahlu, ignorance, is one of the greatest punishments of Allah upon the people. Al-jahlu is min a'zam al-uqubat. It's one of the greatest punishment Allah afflicts a person with. Ignorance. It's a punishment. Allah punishes people with, and people don't understand that. It's an illness. And the Prophet ﷺ told us that. Sah? A lot of people don't realize it's an illness that you've been afflicted with, but you don't recognize that you have to remove that illness from yourself. When the Prophet said to the companions, قَتَلُوهُ قَدْ قَاتَلَهُمُ اللَّهُ أَلَا سَأَلُوا إِذْ لَمْ يَعْلَمُوا فَإِنَّمَا شِفَاءُ الْعِيِّ السُّؤَالِ. When the companion had a wound to his head, and then he asked the other companions, what do you guys think I should do? Shall I do ghusl? But I've got a wound. They said, of course you have to do ghusl. He had a wet dream. But he said, I've got a wound, what do I do? They said to him, you have to do ghusl. But he said, the water's there. So they thought, if the water is there, you have to do ghusl. But he said, I got a wound. If that water touches my body, it's going to harm me. It's cold. It might. He said, it is what it is. You have to use it. So he said, okay. Took the water, used it, and he died because of it. When the Prophet was told, the Prophet said, may Allah kill them. They killed him. أَلَا سَأَلُوا إِذْ لَمْ يَعْلَمُوا. Why did they not ask if they didn't know? Look what the Prophet then said. The cure to that ignorance was to ask. Cure. Why did he use the word shifa? Because ignorance is a what? Illness that needs to be cured. And the Prophet told what the cure for it was what? Su'al al-alim. Asking the what? Asking the alim, the one who knows and has knowledge. We're going to talk about it later. So yes, it's a uquba, it's a punishment that people have. Last but not least, what is the cure for ignorance? The cure to ignorance is number one, talabul ilm, to seek knowledge. Seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every person. Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli muslimin. Every single person, to seek knowledge is upon them. So seeking knowledge is the first thing to remove ignorance. That's number one. The second way to attain knowledge is asking. We mentioned the first one, seeking knowledge. And we mentioned 6 ways if you want to seek knowledge. Sah? Then we're now going into what is the second thing that you need to do to remove ignorance from yourself, or the cure to ignorance, is su'alul ahlil ilm, asking people of knowledge questions. Allah told us this in the Quran, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Sah? فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ. Ask those people who have knowledge. The third thing that will help you remove ignorance is by reading the Quran and pondering on it and understanding the meaning of the Quran. The Quran is a cure to ignorance. Whether it be the ignorance of acting upon impulse or the ignorance of what? Opposite of knowledge. Whichever it may be, the Quran, my brothers and sisters, is the source of knowledge. That's what Allah said, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاء. I told you before, ignorance is an illness. And the cure to that ignorance is the book of Allah. By reading the Quran, by contemplating on the Quran. People who memorize the Quran has been found. It's been found. The people who memorize the Quran, learn the Quran at a very young age. When they go to secondary schools, they do better in those kids who have not memorized the Quran or learned the Quran. Do you agree? Of course. Anything I've said that was wrong or incorrect is from me and shaitan, and Allah and His Messenger are both free from it. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب